My name is Albert Geigel and I'm the founder and principal of Tadar Services. In addition to benchmarking, corporate structures, buying practices, capital gains tax, taxation advice, I also do a lot of work in valuations. I have clients coming to me, they're looking to buy a practice, want to know how much it's worth. Also looking to sell their practice, how to maximise that value, and capital gains tax issues that might go with selling a practice. So exactly what is a valuation? So a valuation is a review of the financial data to give the market value of that dental practice. And as I often explain it to people, if you have your family home or a property and you're going to sell it and you get a valuation done on it, can almost guarantee that at auction it will not sell for that value. It might be less, but quite often these days it'll be more. So why was the valuation wrong? Well, the situation is that people may pay more than the true value of something because it suits them. They want to have the house that's next door to theirs for their parents to live in, or they want to be in a particular school zone that's very important to them. They'll pay more than that. Same with a dental practice. Even though it might be valued at $1 million, someone may be paying 1.1, 1.2 because it's in the area that they want, because it's the size practice that they're after. There's not that many on the market around them, it's a good location, whatever the case may be. There's a reason to do that. The reason to get a valuation is so that you know where that baseline is and to determine whether you will in fact go over that mark to purchase the practice, hopefully of your dreams, and whether you'll be able to get finance for it. Because again, similar to the properties, if you pay too much for the property and the bank says, well look, you paid 1.3 million for it, but it's only $1 million, we're only going to lend 90% of $1 million. You're going to have to find the other bit to go on top. What do I look at when I'm doing a valuation? I look at those financial figures, and I look at the business purely from a profit perspective. How much extra are you going to get from this business, and is it worthwhile going in there? That will ultimately determine the value. When I prepare a report, I prepare it in plain English so that you can understand what it means to you when you're evaluating that practice. I include a follow-up call. So if you do have some questions, or Albert, what did you mean by this, or what did you mean by that? Is this a concern to you? Should it be a concern to me? We can cover off on those things with a phone call. When I look at it, I identify the risks that are in that practice so that you're well aware. Is there likely to be an exposure to payroll tax? Is there a concern with the level of staffing, that there's a high staff turnover? A number of those things we have a look at. I also look through the figures and I extract out those items that would be business expenses that are tax deductible but not necessary for running the business. So there may be a motor vehicle in there. It may be that the principal has spent a lot on CPD and doing courses, and that's tax deductible to that business, but it's not going to repeat in the future. You're not going to be buying their car, and you're not going to be doing the same level of CPD. So a lot of those expenses, while they're legitimate expenses for the business, I strip them out so I get back to the true value and the true profitability of that business. The other thing that I look for is quick wins. Where can you get a quick win in this? And do we really have true potential for growth in this business? No point in buying that ideal practice if it's here. It's already reached its peak and there's not much further that you can go with that practice, unless it's something that you really want to do. You want something that has that scope for the future growth opportunities. So that's everything to do that I do with respect to valuations. Now, often due diligence comes into play after you've made an offer to buy the practice. And what you're doing with due diligence, on my side, it's from a financial perspective, but your lawyer will be looking to see that everything that is there, that permits are in place, that staff can get transferred over correctly, all of those type of things, that we've got a good viable business when it comes over. From a financial aspect, predominantly I'm looking back at the figures that were given to me originally and saying, prove me those figures. I now want to look at a tax return. I want to look a bit more in depth at BASs. Do what's in the BAS, do what's in the tax return, support what's in the financial statements. I may even need to go and look at bank statements and look at the flow through of funds. A bit more of a critique on production reports and item analysis, and go, what they told us here that determined what the value is it actually true? Is it accurate? Or is there something there that we find out that means the practice isn't worth as much as what we thought originally? So due diligence, always one of those that's important to have after you've made the offer. Quite often when I am doing the valuation, I'm doing some of that due diligence in advance because I'm checking to make sure everything's making sense. But this is a very important thing to have done before you part with your hard-earned money to buy that practice that you're after. Again, initial consultation with me on a practice that you're interested in or whatever you think you're doing, no charge at all. Please, details are on the bottom of the screen. Give me a call. I'm always happy to have a chat with you. Make sure that you get the practice that you're after.